Hey everyone, we are here at Plaza de España. During the Spanish occupation, this was the governor's palace. Most was destroyed during World War II, but I'll give you a link in the description below for more information about this historical place. And today I want to look at the Sony a99 Mark II. I've been using this camera for about less than a week, and I really like this camera, and today I'm actually going to use it for a photo shoot, and I will be focusing mostly on portraits with this camera. And the model today is...
Hi, my name is Joyce.
What is your last name?
My name is Joyce Berry, no relation. Just
married. My name is James Berry.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Years modeling?
Years modeling, about 20. Just kidding. This
Since
is my
you're
first
a baby?
time ever.
Okay.
Except for maternity.
I know my wife is going to do good. I think I might have to say that, or she might get mad at me later. Okay, so we're going to cut that out. So okay, we'll start shooting. I'll start shooting with the Sigma 50 1.4 art. Good pose. I'll treat you to Denny's tonight. I don't usually ask the models out to dinner, but I'm asking this model out. Okay, so IAF is very great with the Sony system, and the a99 Mark II has it. All you need to do is assign one of the buttons. I have assigned AF MF button. It's right here, located next to the movie button. So as long as you're in the grid line here, it has about 399 phase detection points. You hold down IAF, it'll focus on the model's face. You see that? The green square, then the small square on her eye. Focus on the model's face and her eye, then you just take the shot. Okay, one more time. We'll focus on her face and eye, take the shot, and then to review, you zoom in and we'll check if it's sharp. Yep, very sharp, wide open at 1.8. Very awesome feature with the Sony system. Okay, one more shot. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Some of the physical features of the Sony a99 Mark II is it is dust and moisture resistant, but Sony does state that it is not guaranteed. All the dials are on the outside. You have the mode dial here on the left. You have the drive button, the white balance button, exposure compensation, ISO button. You have dual SD cards. But unfortunately, both slots are only UHS 1, not UHS 2. The screen at the back, it is not touchscreen. I actually wanted a touchscreen, but I just have to make do with this. The Sony a9 that came out this year does have a touchscreen. You have a button at the back. It is not really like a joystick, but you have to put your thumb in the center and then you move it around the focus points. A mount is an advantage because everyone is so excited about E-mount lenses, but they are very expensive. You can get some Minolta legacy glass that are underrated for very good price. You just have to search eBay or other forums to get a great price of Minolta glass. Other than that, this is a really great camera. The way it feels in my hands and the way it's built. All right, we'll keep on shooting. Alright, some of the internal features of the a99 Mark II. Let's look at the sensor. 42.4 megapixels. It is a CMOS sensor, BSI, backside illuminated. Same sensor found in the a7R2 and now the a7R3, which is going to be released at the end of this month, November 2017. It does have 5-axis image stabilization, or IBIS, and it will give you about 4.5 stops. The EVF is really nice, 0.78 magnification. It has a 0.5 inch screen, XVGA OLED, 2.36 million dots. The 4K capability, same as A7R2. You can do 4K at 30 frames per second and 100 megabits. And also 1080p, you can do slow motion 120 FPS. The shutter speed, mechanical, doesn't have any electronic shutter like the Sony A9. The maximum mechanical is 1/8,000th of a second. What I love about this is the eye autofocus that I've shown you earlier in the video. And flash speed is it is 1/250th of a second. And that's it for the internal features of the camera, but really loving the image quality so far. Notice with the Sigma, your focus points are in this smaller square, so you have to keep the model's face there and hold down the AF button that you signed it to. For me, like I said, is the AF MF, right? But look what happens when you change to the Sony Zeiss. Okay, so we have the Zeiss 135 1.8 lens, and as you can see, a Sony lens has a huge area of the screen, and you can easily do within, if the model's face is within the huge area of the screen, which is more than the Sigma. It's not a Sony lens, but if you do have a Sony lens, you can easily do the IAF and grab it all the time, anywhere in the screen. So an advantage may be to get a Sony lens or Zeiss lens. Let's check for sharpness real quick. Very sharp. So I have some thoughts about using the A99 Mark II on the actual photo shoot. It's very easy to shoot portraits with, especially with the IAF. I did have the A7R2 for about 6 months, and I actually did not like it. I actually hated it. Just the way it felt on my hands, using the Zeiss 135 1.8, it felt so front heavy. My hand palm was pressing buttons by accident. It was very slow to zoom in and check for focus. It was very slow to turn on when I put a new battery. With the A99 Mark II, like, all of those have been fixed. It's quick to turn on. The battery life is longer. Zooming in to check my focus if it's sharp to the model's eyes is very quick. Operation, the usability has been improved. It's super quick, and the 135 1.8 on it right now, it feels good. It feels balanced. The only disadvantage is for great IAF for the whole screen, like I'm going to show you now. You have to actually use a Sony lens or Zeiss lens, and it'll increase to almost the entire frame, and you can easily hit that IAF button and you'll get the model's face in focus. No need, like I'm used to for about 8 years, focusing on the model's face and recomposing and taking a shot. The Sigma lens is really awesome, the 51.4 art, but using this lens, it makes the area of the autofocus points less. So I would have to kind of move it up just to get the IAF and recompose just a little bit. But I noticed with A99 Mark II, focusing is quick, way faster than A7R2. So I'm really loving the brand Sony right now. And JPEGs out of this camera is really nice. JPEGs out of the A7R2 wasn't that great. So I'm realizing that maybe after this camera, Sony came out with the A9 and now the A7R3. They're fixing their pipelines, they're fixing a lot of things about the brand, and this brand is really going to take over they call it interchangeable lens market. Alright, we just got done with the photo shoot. Been shooting for about an hour and a half, and you probably just heard my 2-minute ideas about how I'm loving this way better than the A7R2. How was the photo shoot for you today? I know it's your first time doing an official photo shoot.
It was pretty good. It was a new experience.
And I think, what's your favorite lens? This one, the 135 1.8. Carl Zeiss or the Sigma 51.4 Art from what you've been
I
saying?
like the 135, 1.8. I like both, but if I have to pick, I don't know.
The 135?
Yeah.
The headshots we got from it is very
The
nice.
headshots are nice.
The eyes are very sharp, and then it just compresses and blurs like the background. Right, so I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna look at all the images on the computer, show you guys the quality of it, and show you the comparison. You should have saw the comparison of the between the GX8 4K and the A99 Mark II. And sadly, by looking at the back of the camera, I think we're gonna sell the GX8, and we're gonna use the A99 Mark II for our 4K video recording for this YouTube channel. Alright, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. 4K comparison, everything is at default settings, auto white balance and profile. Both seem pretty sharp, but you do get a shallower depth of field with the Sony because it is full frame. Next, I upped the contrast to +1, saturation to +1, and sharpness to +1 on the Sony camera. You do get really nice vibrant colors, but it seems to be less sharp than the GX8. I need to experiment more with the A99 Mark II for 4K video. Alright, we are home now. I want to show you 3 unedited RAW files from the photo shoot. I'm using the program Capture One. I like to use Capture One for Sony RAW files because the RAW converter makes a file very contrasty and sharp compared to Adobe Lightroom, which makes the RAW file kind of flat and the colors are a little bit off. This picture with Joyce has been shot with the Sigma 51.4 Art. It is shot wide open. Zooming in onto her eyes, it is very sharp. Very sharp at 1.4. And the good thing about these RAW files is it has a lot of dynamic range, so you're going to get the same thing out of the A7R2 since it has the same sensor. If you want to recover highlights, you notice the gate behind her might have been blown out a little bit, even the grass. Just move the highlight slider all the way to the right. Boom, there you go. You see the details in the fence brought back and the grass. You can increase exposure just a little bit. Just look at how the RAW file reacts with the changing of these settings. Contrast, brightness, saturation just a little bit. You can do really great shadow recovery, but if you push it too much, it gets kind of muddy, messy. So I just put it down to about 8 or 10 for shadows. I don't really want to increase shadows too much and you lose contrast a little bit. Let's look at the second example of the RAW file. You can see Godfrey here on the left hand side filming for a YouTube video. I am using the Sigma 135 1.8 shot wide open at 1.8, and just zooming onto Joyce's face is super sharp. And the good thing about 42.4 megapixels is the croppability factor. So the edited file did crop Godfrey out, and I don't even adjust sharpness in when I edit the files in Photoshop. So very sharp wide open at 1.8. Last RAW file I want to show you, again unedited, just to confirm. Let me check. Yeah, everything unedited. You can see just how sharp this RAW file is by zooming in on Joyce's eyelashes, and you can see her contact, and in her eyeball itself you can see Godfrey filming and me taking the photo. It's because the sensor of the A99 Mark II has no AA filter or has no optical low pass filter, so you're going to get the most detail out of the sensor. And this kind of reminds me of a medium format look where it is so sharp on the model's eyes, and the transition from sharpness to bokeh to the blurred background is very smooth. I like this is my favorite photo out of the entire photo shoot. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel if you're a regular subscriber, and for those that haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you.